So I found this to be very interesting, and this was something that I was talking about not too long ago, and I was wondering what was up with it. So we know Microsoft in general had the situation where the leaks of the FTC revealed that they were going to have a couple other Xbox things that were going to be different. You know, it was a code name Brooklyn. It was going to be a cylinder Xbox Series X, a white with no disk drive. It was going to have some better components, but it was also going to launch with a new controller. And everybody kind of wondered what happened to this stuff. And now, thanks to a leak, we have a better idea. And I'm very excited to kind of get into it and see what all the hubbub is about. And I'm sure a lot of you are probably interested as well, because, you know, if you're an Xbox fan, where is this stuff? Like, honestly, this stuff leaked years ago, and we haven't heard anything about it. So this should be an interesting video. I'm sure you guys are going to agree. What's up, everybody? I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews with another video. Please like the video, share it out, subscribe if you haven't already done so. But a simple like is really all I ask. You know, I do daily gaming content, at least one video a day. I try to be fun yet informative, so keep that in mind as we go forward. It's all about having, stuff to talk about and, just being kind of an entertaining dude. So yeah, let's get into it. So this comes from Windows Central. The new Sebile controller breaks cover thanks to a new patent, and we know what the weird grippy things are for now. Remember last year when a ton of sensitive Xbox documents leaked as part of the accident with the Activision Blizzard acquisition hearings? You'd be forgiven for forgetting, given everything that's happened between now and then, but one of those leaks in particular is relevant right now. The wheel of Xbox news never stops turning. To that end, browsing latest Microsoft patent filings, according to Windows Central, and he happened upon something that leads further credibility to something being investigated lately. As part of the canceled mid-gen Xbox consoles, Brooklyn and Elwood, which, just real quick, I will give you a rundown on those before we get into it. The Elwood was a minor refresh of the Series S. It was going to be more energy efficient and things like that. Which again, kind of take it or leave it for what it is or whatever. But they ended up not doing these or whatever the case may be. Anyway, whatever. As part of the canceled Xbox mid-gen consoles, Microsoft had also planned a new controller, which they called Sebile. The controller is detailed, showcasing direct-to-cloud connectivity similar to Stadia, alongside various other improvements. While Elwood and Brooklyn seem to have been canceled, on good authority, he's heard that Sebile still exists and is planned to launch alongside the next generation of Xbox console hardware. A patent filed this month in the United States is unmistakably Sebile, owing to the configuration of the plastic housing. In the Sebile leaks, which are on here, and I'm going to link this, one aspect of the controller that always seemed a little odd was the grips, which look a bit like the controller is wearing trousers. So in the patents, it seems like it's designed for a couple of reasons. Microsoft wants to retain the ergonomic feel of the existing range of controllers, but it seems that the grips also house new haptic motors that can direct high-definition impulses. The patent describes how the new motors are spread throughout the device and should actually consist irrespective of how the player moves the housing of the controller. The patent describes how the pulses and vibrations can be tuned to mimic a wide variety of sounds and motions, and can even move independently of the controller's housings. Crucially, it also suggests that the haptic motors will be able to mimic previous style vibrations for backwards compatibility purposes, eliminating the need for developers to intervene to make their games work with a new controller. Another interesting aspect of the Sebile controller is the fact that it will borrow features from Stadia and that it will connect directly to cloud games over Wi-Fi. Players will be able to directly point the controller at different devices via an active device list of sorts, similar to how you can point Spotify to different devices you've connected your account to by bypassing Bluetooth. It should eliminate a few additional milliseconds of latency when playing games in the cloud, which might not seem like much, but it makes an uncanny amount of difference and was a big contributor as to why Stadia felt faster than competing solutions at the time. So they're hearing about this controller. However, it won't launch before the next range of Xbox hardware does. Microsoft is expected to be working on an Xbox handheld as well as a more traditional console to replace the Xbox Series X. Also, some tentative information that Microsoft is also planning to let OEMs like Dell, Lenovo, and Asus build Xbox consoles too, targeting retail markets and price points where Microsoft has yet to really gain a foothold. If the previous documents remains true, the controller would also have swappable and rechargeable batteries, Bluetooth 5.2, a new life-to-wake detection power-on feature, boosted construction reliability, and increased repairability. Microsoft aims to use more recycled materials and reduce reliance on resin and glue for the new controller to help players fix their own stuff. What remains to be seen, though, is the price. All these new features likely won't be cheap, though it stands to reason that Microsoft will continue selling the current gen Xbox controller. In addition to this one, not everyone will want or need cloud compatibility after all. We're still missing an Xbox Elite Controller 3 from the equation as well. So, yeah, we'll see what happens in the future. But like I said, a lot of this stuff, really, really kind of depends on what Microsoft is doing in terms of offering people value for their money. To me, OEMs doesn't sound good at all, right? Like if you remember back to what Steam machines were, a lot of different places made Steam machines, and that was something that really helped kill it. Like you need, for me anyway, a console is basically, and I know Microsoft did things a little bit differently with the S and the X, but you basically have a spec, and then everybody's kind of on the same thing. When you start introducing, letting third parties do your consoles for you, I think that is a bit of a a thing that isn't going to work out very well for Microsoft, at least in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like you might think differently. You might think, oh well, this thing will work out great or it'll be awesome. For me, I don't necessarily look at this as something that will be great or awesome. Like I'm happy with just the Xbox console itself. I want Microsoft to make their console and for it to be something great. Like I wouldn't want PlayStation to start allowing Panasonic or Samsung to make a PlayStation console. I think we're losing the plot at that point for what consoles are supposed to be. But overall, it is nice to hear that this controller still looks like it is going to be coming, and a controller that is going to offer some pretty significant changes to how we kind of game and things like that. If you look at things right now, there's multiple reasons. Like we can look at this current generation and go, oh, well, this is why Microsoft didn't do good, or this is why this failed or that failed. But for me anyway, I look at things and I say, Xbox could have done much better if they had made the Xbox Series X and S feel more like a true next generational leap. And you can't do that graphically, because graphically I think we're kind of tapped out. Things look good and we all go wow or ooh ah, but at the end of the day, the stuff looks a lot like what we had last generation. And to some people that's good enough, to some people it's not. I mean, we might be getting a little bit better lighting or whatever, but is that really worth going out and buying a new console for? I think some people probably have spoken with their wallets and said no. But with that being said, I still think that we have a proper situation where Xbox can be viable and can be a good thing for people across the board, as long as they have a console that can offer people something that they want. I think it's kind of getting people don't understand. If they would have had like a new dashboard, that would have been great. If they would have had a new controller, that would have been great. Because look, the PS5, in my opinion, isn't as good as the PS4 in terms of, it's more powerful and all that, but the haptic controller is awesome, right? And they updated the UI and all that stuff, so that's cool. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it feels like a next-gen experience. They changed the looks of it. It's like kind of a white console, a futuristic-looking thing. Microsoft didn't do any of that, so, a lot of people felt like, hey, this was like absolutely not feeling like a true next-gen upgrade or whatever the case may be. So we do have that kind of look about things, you know what I mean? So for me, I hope that we continue to see some things to get people involved into the next gen. But the one thing that I honestly don't want to see is third parties making Xboxes. That really doesn't that doesn't seem like a good thing to me. So No, I guess we'll have to see what happens. Anyway, what do you guys think about this? Are you guys upset that we aren't going to get this haptic controller? Like, the thing about the haptic controller is haptics are cool, but it feels like Xbox has like the cheapest controller. Like the Xbox Series X and S controller clicks and smells funny. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Let me know what you guys think though. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.